So today we are going to perform the part 3 of the midterm exam. So in this task, in your experience from the previous task, choose one troubleshooting activity you have done and share the process as well as the things you have done to solve the issue. So the task that we are going to select is the task 6. Join Windows 10 to domain Windows Server 2016. So to proceed, let's open first our Oracle Virtual Manager. Then, as you can see here on the screen, we have already installed the Windows Server 2016 and also our virtual machine Windows 10. So, before anything else, please be informed that you need to check the network if those two machines are connected both on your network. So, in Windows Server 2016, it is connected to our NAT network as well as our Windows 10 virtual machine are already connected to NAT network. So, let's open here our Windows Server 2016. Alright, so as we all know that domain is a logical area network with workstation and servers under the control of one central security server or group of servers. So these servers called controllers refer to database that keeps track of users, their passwords, and what they are permitted to access. In other words, a domain is controlled LAN that provides a single login for users to gain access to network resources like the file storage and network printing. Alright, so the first thing that we are going to check is that our IP address. So the question right now is how do I connect or join our Windows 10 to our Windows Server 2016 domain. So, enter the domain name and click Next. Enter account information that is used to authenticate on the domain and click OK. So, wait until your computer is authenticate on the domain. So, alright, so those are the steps that we are going to perform. But before that, we need to configure first the IP address and the DNS of our Windows Server 2016 in order for us to connect our Windows 10 virtual machine. So, let's go for the network of the Windows 10, the Windows Server 2016. Alright, so as you can see here, we already created our domain network. So, only have to do right now is to configure or put the IP address here. So, let's input here our IP address. So, 192.168.1.10. It is a Class C network. Then let's set our preferred DNS to 192.168.1.10. Alright, so we already done setting up the IP address on our Windows Server 2016. Then let's go for the Windows 10 virtual machine IP configuration. Alright, so here, right click on the network. Then Internet to set as the IP address. Then let's put here 192.168.1.30. Now, what we are going to do next is have to configure the DNS server in our Windows Server 2016. Right, so open our server manager. Here, as you can see, we already installed the DNS, and on the tools menu, uh, open here the DNS. Then let's create for the new zone. Click next. Then let's set the ccs.com as our domain name. Alright, so please don't forget to set the new host here. Alright, so next we have to set or create a new lookup zone. Enter the network ID. Then on reverse lookup zone, let's create a pointer. Alright, so we are done with that. Configured or manually configured our DNS server. So let's check in our command prompt the domain name, ccs.com. Alright, the server is our the Windows Server 2016 under the ccs.com, and the address is 192.168.1.10. Alright, so now let's try to connect our Windows 10 virtual machine. So to connect, there are two ways to connect here. First, let's try to connect here under the computer name. Alright, so let's try to connect here using this by putting the ccs.com manually. Alright, so there is an error appeared on the screen. An Active Directory domain control or ADDC for domain or ccs.com could not be contacted. Ensure that the domain name is typed correctly. If the name is correct, click details for troubleshooting information. Now, let's troubleshoot if what's gonna have the problem or what's the problem behind this error. Alright, so click OK, then cancel it. Alright, so since our Windows Server 2016 is configured here, the IP address. So we have 192.168.1.10, and of course the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Then our preferred DNS is 192.168.1.10. So of course, on your Windows 10 virtual machine, you need to set this same format of IP address and also for same DNS server. So let's check here on our Windows 10 virtual machine. Alright, so we done with putting up or setting up the IP address, but luckily we don't have a preferred DNS server. So let's put here the 192.168.1.10. Alright, so let's try. to connect. Alright, so let's put here ccs.com. Alright, still have a problem. So there is another way to connect here under your start menu. Then select for settings. Then go to your account. Then on the left panel, select for access work or school. And then there is a connect button here. Then let's click this button and wait for the dialog box loading all the necessary files. Alright, so our authentication login credentials has been permitted. Then just click skip on this. Then after your there is a dialog box that need to restart our virtual machine to take effect all the changes that we have done earlier. So please click restart. Then let's wait for our Windows 10 virtual machine to open it again. Alright, so our Windows 10 virtual machine is already up. So let's check if we successfully connect or join to our Windows Server domain. So here, let's go to our network. Alright, as you can see on our network that we already connected to our domain network, which is the ccs.com. Alright, to verify, let's go to our Windows Server 2016. So, how to verify? Open your server manager and go to your tools menu, and then go to Active Directory, users and computers. Alright, so here you can see that we have ccs.com as our domain, and go to the computers. So as you can see here that there is one machine connected, which is the VM1 as our Windows 10 virtual machine. So that means that we successfully joined the Windows 10 virtual machine to our Windows Server 2016 domain, the ccs.com. Alright, so we are done with the part 3 of our exam, and we have demonstrate on how to join the Windows 10 to our Windows Server 2016 domain, and also we perform the troubleshooting. So you see that there is an error appeared on our screen. However, we are we completely get it done in order for us to successfully uh, connect or join our virtual machine. So that's it for our part 3, and thank you so much for watching and have a great day everyone.